What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, another interesting video for you here on the channel. Today is my Raw review for Raw that just happened. I'm recording this, let me see, 15 minutes after Raw just ended. So, initial thoughts. Always gotta give you the initial thoughts immediately. So, yeah, let's begin. Of course, like always on this channel, we're going in chronological order. Today, we're talking about the Judgment Day first. A big announcement, not really a big announcement, more like a kind of clearing up the air with the Judgment Day, where we kind of learn that Damian Priest forgives the Judgment Day, understands what they did. They helped. It was not a right decision to like go after them. He was just annoyed that they were trying to mess with him and it wasn't making sense, whatever. And they're like, it's a brother thing. We're still brothers. We're still a team in the end. We're all family. They are capping off their asses. They are clearly trying to show that they are brothers, and then we're going to get the crazy Finn twist that Finn is the bad guy. They screw over Damian some way. How I think that it's going to be at Clash of the Castle. I don't see a world where in Clash of the Castle we don't get Drew McIntyre not winning the title. It just doesn't make sense unless, of course, it's because of the injury where he kind of screwed himself with that. But I do think that we are going to get a Drew McIntyre winning the title at Clash of the Castle. It's going to be because I think what would make the loss easier for Damian Priest is going to say that the Judgment Day cost him. That is a far way away. That is like June 15th. June 15th, right? So we have lots of time. We'll just see what happens till then. Immediately after this, we get a call out from Finn Balor saying because Drew McIntyre is injured for King of the Ring tournament, he will be entering his place. And then Adam Pearce comes out and Finn's like, I'm getting a bye. Adam's like, no, you're not. Jey Uso is coming in to go against you, which was public knowledge. It was something that I'm trying to see if I have the source thing. I don't have it near me. That it wasn't just an announcement that they were going to go against each other. Yeah, I'm really sad for Finn, you know? I really want him to get his shot. I really want him to get a good title reign, whatever. I want Finn Balor to get this shot. When will that happen? I don't know. Does Judgment Day try and cost Drew and it doesn't happen? I don't know. I think Drew would win it. Whatever it might be, I don't really know. But also at the same time, I really want a Jey Uso title reign. That's another thing that I am so excited for. The crowd getting lit, everyone's getting lit, Cleveland's getting lit for him. At the Cavaliers game, I mean, this is pure aura, and he deserves to get a title run here soon. Up next, we're going to be talking about the CM Punk one-shot, the whole segment with CM Punk, where they talk to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's like, CM Punk's not here. Kind of gets mad about him being not cleared. Leaves the arena. CM Punk comes in and says, I'm trying to argue with Drew. Where's Drew? I'm trying to fight with him, whatever. Not here. Comes in. But I was laughing my head off when I saw that man Punk roll up. Comes in. Chad Gable yelling at Alpha Academy in the middle of the one-shot was funny as hell, too. CM Punk again cooking. What's new with CM Punk cooking on the mic? But the biggest thing that I took away from this is that he hints at a Clash of the Castle appearance. Now, what would a CM Punk Clash of the Castle appearance look like? Is it going to be a match against McIntyre? I don't think so. He said that he would even hide in the shadows for McIntyre. What's going to happen? I think it's going. I'm going to throw this out there. So I want to throw this out there so I can say I was right later on. It's going to be Drew and Finn title reign with a CM Punk confrontation. So we get CM Punk versus Drew at SummerSlam, or we could go a route where it's Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's about to win it. CM Punk cost him the fight. Drew McIntyre wins. Something with Judgment Day happens, or maybe something with Judgment Day happens later on. So then you have the narrative of Judgment Day versus Finn or Damian Priest versus Finn Balor for the title at SummerSlam, while you have still a CM Punk and Drew McIntyre with no title involved at SummerSlam. That would be interesting. I really would rather have a title involved with CM Punk and Drew, but it's not needed. But it's a good little token that I think will be definitely needed for there. to make it like the stakes really, really high. Up next, we had the amazing fight of Io Sky versus Natalya. And I love to see Natalya come out there and do good when she just kind of got screwed over in NXT. I'm not going to say anything. But Natalya's technique was just on display here. They both had amazing chemistry. There was so much great technique from Natalya with the moves, doing whatever. And then even Io Sky having great moonsaults like always. Natalya's superplex was amazing on Io Sky, but it just felt like Io Sky always wows me during these matches. It felt like Io Sky is just somebody that I'm like, wow, she is amazing, like amazing. I really hope we get another reign from her, maybe. But the power bomb by Natalya when it was the counter power bomb, that was set up so perfectly. I really thought that was the match, and I was like, they're really gonna make Io Sky lose. But then when, of course, Io Sky moonsault wins it, of course. But it was a great match. Yes, we had an amazing match before, I have to admit. But when I tell you that this was match by the night, by far, maybe I'm glazing a little bit. Okay, I'm sorry. This just showed the world that Ilja Dragunov is next up. And I don't even want to say next up. I want to say the next big thing. I know that we always talk about, I'll get to that actually in a second. Ilja Dragunov's first. Let's just talk about him. The video package he had before was amazing. It really sold me on his ability. Like, it showed me that he is this fierce competitor that is insane, that will do anything just to be the best. Then he comes out, conductor, just going crazy. I was in here. I was watching it. I was just whipping my hands around, going crazy, okay? Just Ilja Dragunov then goes into the ring. And he puts off this banger. I'm sorry if I just broke your ears. Banger match, okay? He makes, and this is the thing. We want to really talk about, Sheamus going banger after banger after banger. I don't know if that accent was pretty good. But Ilja Dragunov, he has that ability now. He is the guy that, and this is the thing, Ricochet did amazing this match. He did his thing. He always does his thing about jumping off the ropes and flying up in the air. Ricochet is very good, don't get me wrong. But Ilja Dragunov has the elite ability to make, with his technician moves, with his ability to sell, with his ability to do just madness in the ring. He has the ability to create a story and make that story look something that you can watch over that time. The ability to make it look fierce, and the ability to make your opponent look amazing. When you have the ability to make whoever you go against like an actual competitor that deserves to be a top tier player, that ability puts you on levels on levels on levels. Why do you think people are always trying to push Gunther and say Gunther should be this insane, crazy wrestler and should be at the top of the mountain? Because he has the exact same ability of being able to, create and make the people around him amazing. Ilja Dragunov. I know people want to say Braun Breaker's the next up. Braun Breaker has some Brock Lesnar year. Braun Breaker is going to win all the awards rookie year, sophomore year. He is the next guy up. In my opinion, my humble opinion, Ilja Dragunov, they're kind of slowing down with Braun Breaker. People thought Brock Lesnar, he's turning into more Goldberg. And don't get me wrong, Goldberg was elite, okay? He was elite. He was like the guy for WCW. But the fact is that Ilja Dragunov makes wrestling better. I don't know how to express it in the way I want to. You can clown me in the comments. Again, this is my opinion. But Ilja Dragunov he makes the match better. This was a match that was before the hour 30 mark half. And he made a 5-star match. He made it where people thought this was match of the night. I bet a lot of people have said it. He made it where this was just an elite match that you wish that you could have probably seen this at a PL Elite. We could have seen this at Backlash with Ricochet, and it would have been an amazing match. I just everything about just this. I'm going on a 4-minute glazing tangent, I'm realizing, but just everything he did, and just even talking about the match, showed up, sold well, did amazing moves. The minute that he came back after taking the big blow from Ricochet, he goes into the corner. He holds up. He's flexing. He's opening up. He's making you realize, like, this guy is him. Like, him. I'm not gonna try and make a I'm not doing it. But the blood, the H-bomb, the flex, this picture alone. Ilja Dragunov is next up. Summary is Ilja Dragunov is more than next up. He is the top guy here soon. Up next, we have Zoe Stark versus Ivy Nile, another match for the Queen of the Ring tournament. Wasn't anything wild. I do like this. It was still like a good match. I think the Z360 was the highlight of the match. Seeing that Z360, oh my gosh, it was just a perfect one. Took Ivy Nile away, but yeah, Zoe Stark wins. Up next, we had the setup match that would end in a disqualification of Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed. First off, when this match got announced, I immediately was like, okay, so some way or form, Sami Zayn is going to get involved. Did I think it was going to be a disqualification? Not exactly. I thought more maybe like whoever wins, Sami Zayn's going to confront, and then it's going to be like an announcement for a match maybe later on in life, whenever that was going to be. But yeah, so I immediately was kind of skeptical, especially when they started off with heavy artillery moves. I mean, Chad Gable lifting up Bronson Reed, and I'm forgetting the move he did. The one German suplex. Was it a German suplex? I think it was something else. Maybe it was German suplex. That's something that I feel like you hold on to the end of the match to show his strength, but they immediately showed it. So I was like, okay, well, something's going to happen huge. Immediately when I heard the crowd cheer and go crazy and everyone's looking, Sami, I immediately was like, okay, Sami's going to intervene. And what did he do? Immediately go out there, beat the living crap out of Chad Gable, beat up on Bronson Reed. Chad Gable destroys Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn tries to get him back. Bronson Reed doesn't allow it. Bronson Reed fights. But I had in my notes that they were clearly setting up a triple threat. It was pretty clear that a triple threat was getting set up. And now I said I had that in my notes because I was hoping that it was going to be actually a Gable versus Bronson Reed fight for the Intercontinental Championship. Instead, yeah, it's a triple threat. It got announced that it's going to be at King of the Ring later on in the tonight. But yeah, I was hoping this would mainly be Sami versus Gable because I feel like there's more of a narrative when it comes to that. Like Bronson was kind of just a throw in there, even though I think this match would cook. It's still going to cook. I think that this was definitely, kind of a throw in. It makes me think that Sami is going to retain. I'll have predictions then. But I do think that Sami will retain. Who do I think is going to, potentially win? I don't know. We'll talk about this another day, but yeah. I was just shocked by the announcement. This is maybe a throwout too. I was really hoping that the rumor of the Creed brothers, Ivy Nile, and Kurt Angle being manager for Chad Gable would actually come true here soon. Now, seeing this, I'm going to throw out another possibility. What if we see a world where Chad Gable loses the temper again? Alpha Academy tries to be like, you need to chill, you need to relax. And then they snap, he snaps, and we see this formation happen. Hope that happens, but we'll have to see. Next, we had Becky Lynch interview with Michael Cole that turned into, of course, a confrontation. Why did I say confrontation? Yeah, but she immediately was talking a lot about Lyra, which hints. Of course, Lyra Valkyria beat her to take her NXT championship back in the day. But of course, Liv Morgan confronts Becky, says, hey, you promised me this championship match. You promised me a title opportunity. Becky's like, oh, you interrupted me. I was going to say this. Which then they announced that there's going to be a match for Becky and Liv for at King of the Ring, the PLE, which crazy shock that this is the first match that got announced. I was like, is this way too early or am I tripping? I'm tripping probably. But then Damage Control earlier when they talked about Asuka's injury, I'll talk about later. Damage Control hinted that, Becky, they were the first 2 years ago to stop Becky, mentioned how they beat Becky. And then while I was in the call, while we were watching this with the other people from Lesser Athletes, I was like, Lyra Valkyria is coming out. Like, they're going to try and beat up on Becky. Lyra Valkyria is coming out. But I kept saying, but I don't think Liv Morgan's going to help Becky. And then Liv Morgan left, and I was like, so Lyra Valkyria is coming out. And, of course, she did. We then immediately have a match for Lyra Valkyria versus Dakota Kai, which is interesting because Asuka was originally the person to go against this. But, of course, Asuka was injured, which is announced earlier by Dakota Kai. I want to talk about it for a second because Asuka being injured. The injury bug has gone crazy against WWE. I don't know what has happened with WWE and injuries, but it's been crazy, it seems like. I'm hoping Asuka gets better because I do think that in the women's tag division, the Kabuki Warriors is up there. Are they going to win the title coming soon? Probably not. I would be shocked if anybody even beats Bianca and Jade. But so we get them. The match is pretty good. It looked very good. It was of course, Lyra Valkyria's first match. I did notice some like little botches or kind of missed spots. She hit the ref one time and I was like, and the ref was like holding his shoulder and she kept like looking back at him. I noticed that. And then there was something else that was like a little missed, whatever. I'm trying to remember, but I'm nitpicking. I shouldn't be nitpicking. This is her first like full match on Raw, like as a Raw call up. Like, I'm nitpicking for no reason. Lyra Valkyria was definitely somebody that is going to be ahead of the team, going to be ahead of the game. She's going to be in this women's division for a long time. I believe in her. I'm excited to see what she does in the future, but it was her first debut. I mean, it was still a very good match. And for the last event, we had Gunther versus Sheamus for the main event. What a match. This is up there, again, for match of the night. I would still say it's Ilja Dragunov. But Kaiser and Gunther come out. Gunther says something to Kaiser, which I was already like, something might happen. Something like how Gunther lost for Intercontinental might happen. Didn't. Instead, it was still just Kaiser kind of messing with Sheamus to ruin his knee. That would, of course, kind of help Gunther in submission. But still really good match. I think that Gunther's chops, I am stuttering on words. Gunther's chops, they feel so personal. Every time I hear a Gunther chop, anytime I see a Gunther chop, it feels like someone just stole something from him and he's trying to get his money back. Like there's just something about Gunther that the chops are just insane. You saw how red Sheamus was. He had a welts over his back. The chop on the back, you could see the handprint. You could see the handprint of the chop. How insane is that? But yeah, it was overall a very good match. Clearly, Kaiser was going to be involved in something, because of the knee. Gunther even was smiling when he got kicked out, though. I thought something else could happen. Didn't. But yeah, winning by submission. Gunther lips bleeding. We are seeing Gunther become this next level villain. We don't see heels making baby faces tap out a lot. His last two matches, Sheamus tapping out, Xavier Woods tapping out, and now Xavier Woods is quote unquote injured. So very interesting to say the least. But Gunther, I'm excited for you, man. Up next, we have our Uncle Howdy segment that we always has. In this video, in this QR code, we see a library. Very interesting to kind of see this library that keeps getting like zoomed in on. We also see they talk about something about a chance that they never got a chance. A lot of people I've seen possibly throwing out the idea that Uncle Howdy got shelved when the whole Bray Wyatt creative ideas didn't work out. So now that Bray Wyatt's gone, of course, people are saying like, you won, of course, now something like Uncle Howdy, you didn't want us before. Going down that route, we'll see if that's true. But in the video, there's a jump scare that literally scares the living crap out of me. I mean, these are getting scarier and scarier. I screamed. I'm not gonna lie. I screamed like a little girl. I screamed like a little girl when the very end, because I can't do scary stuff, and so every time I'm doing these breakdowns or like a little like telling you guys what happened, I get a little scared. No, but actually, there was a little jump scare, and it's kind of Uncle Howdy. You can see like over here. It's like a trench coat. You can zoom in. There's not really much you can see. It looks like a trench coat of Uncle Howdy, though. Also, if you scroll to the bottom of the QR code video, there's a puzzle that you can do, and it spells out it's you know nothing. Hell is only a word. A word, or is it world? World, or is it world? Oh no. You know nothing. Hell is only a word. Reality is much, much worse. I think that's what it is. I mean, you can kind of see over there what it is. But yeah. I'm trying to see where all this all connects. Do we see a King of the Ring appearance? I don't know, because the French crowd was probably the perfect place to do it. There's been rumors on who's in the faction. Nikki Cross is one of the people that are big into it. Right now, there's 5. I'm forgetting the 2. Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, Uncle Howdy, like Jay something, and then it's the guy with the tattoos on the arms. You can look it up. I don't know why I'm blanking out so much right now. But if they would try and do a 6, I could see Alexa Bliss joining in. We'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, I'm excited to see where Uncle Howdy goes. Next week, we got some matches already confirmed. We'll have Lyra Valkyria versus Zoe Stark. We'll have Io Sky versus the winner of Vega and Shayna Baszler. That match will actually happen on house shows, interesting enough. Kind of funny, kind of crazy that they're actually doing that. I think I kind of like it. Next in the men's bracket, we have, of course, Jey Uso versus Ilja Dragunov. Jey Uso versus Ilja Dragunov. I pray that's the main event next week, because that is going to be chef's kiss. And talking about like the men's bracket too, when it's Jey Uso versus Ilja Dragunov, like we're mentioning right here, I know I was dick riding Ilja Dragunov, kind of glazing, but Jey Uso is going to win that. Jey Uso is going to win, and I'll tell you why. They are not going to allow the chance of a Gunther versus Ilja Dragunov fight till it's on a good pay-per-view. And I'm sorry, but that match is not going to happen unless there's something that is huge with it. They're not just going to have an Ilja Dragunov and Gunther fight for King of the Ring. I'm telling you that right now. I'm calling it now too. It's going to be Jey Uso versus Gunther again. We also have Gunther versus Rey Mysterio or Kofi Kingston. A good promo cut with Kofi saying that what he did to Xavier Woods was inexcusable, injuring him. I think Kofi Kingston... Oh, by the way, that match is also in a house show. I do think Kofi Kingston is going to win this match, and I have a feeling that Kofi's going to go against Gunther, lose against Gunther, maybe in submission, and maybe there's a chance we see the New Day turn heel. I would be kind of excited for something like that. Not even heel, just like bad attitude, not caring for people. I don't know. I'm kind of excited. But yeah, those are some matches we'll be looking forward to. I also feel like there's going to be a JD versus Braun Strowman match next week, because they kind of hinted towards it. But yeah, we'll have to see about it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you in the next one. And if you've been watching this far, thank you for watching. Goodbye.